Yo, what is up, chat? How's everyone doing? Just had to quickly make sure that the mic was unmuted. Sometimes I forget to hit that button. But how's everyone doing? Welcome to another episode, sadly, the final episode of this week. But don't be afraid, we will be back Sunday with another banger episode at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yes, this is the final episode of this week. Hopefully, you guys got to kill it on the market today. My goodness, what did I tell you about ARM last night? ARM absolutely SMCI'd it, taking above the 100 area, going into 120. Monster breakouts today to be involved in, and not just only in ARM. There were other trades across the board to be played with. So I hope all of you got to take advantage of some of those trades that we planned out last night. And if you missed out on the trades that we planned out last night, then you're here at the right spot, because we're gonna plan out to wrap up the week with the even bigger of a banger. So let's go look at those opportunities. All the stocks that reported earnings today after hours, some of the stocks that might report earnings tomorrow pre-market, and all the stocks that basically reported this week, along with our beautiful Megatech Magnificent 7 that we like to take a look at. So that's basically all on the watch list today. A couple of the stocks, for example, Affirm, Pinterest, Cloudflare. You probably knew that already by looking at the title and the thumbnail for Cloudflare. So yeah, we're very excited. Let's see who all's in the chat over here. Dieter, TH, Think with Bookmap saying hit the like button, please. Thank you, Bookmap. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you do hit that like button. Obviously, only if you think I deserve it. And I would appreciate everyone who has already. Josh coming in with the cheers. I haven't had a good beer in a long time, Josh. You're making me want to drink beer with that cheers emoji. Man, I haven't had beer in a good long time, but I think soon enough I will be having beer. February 16th. I'm gonna have to go see the old traders in the old office for a graduation party. Not sure if I'm gonna make it, but if I do, I'm gonna be able to drink some beers over there, I guess. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Think with Bookmap. I love seeing your username every time in my chat. You are my go-to source for Bookmap, because you know, it's a little bit expensive of a software over there, but you hook us up with your live stream, so thank you for everything that you do over there for the trading world and for the trading sphere. TH calling Dieter D-I-D-E-R? It's D-Y-D-E-R. Come on, TH. No, I'm joking. I'm sure he doesn't care either. So ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are here locked and loaded, why don't we get started with all things in store for tomorrow, the watch list for tomorrow basically. So let's head on over to the full screen mode, and then let me bring in our watch list for today. There we go. Our watch list does start with a nice little ticker at the top over here, TVV. We talked about this a little bit, I think a couple of days ago or maybe last night. A brand new IPO coming out tomorrow, so something to watch out for. It's a foods company in Mexico. We'll talk about it more maybe later on in the stream, but most important stocks today to talk about will be these these three stocks right here: Affirm, Pinterest, and Cloudflare, also known as Net. A couple other stocks that are reported earnings. Take two for your gamers over there. Pepsi for you soda drinkers, pop drinkers. CGC for you weed smokers. Enbridge for you, I guess, for the Canadian not oil, but energy traders. So a couple other stocks over here coming out in pre-market, and then a lot of stocks that already reported for us on the watch list for tomorrow. So a pretty big watch list. Usually this is what happens at the end of the week for us. Our watch list just keeps getting bigger and bigger, because the amount of stocks that are moving around are kind of insane. Looking for that net to continue momentum tomorrow, says Josh. I mean, if you've been watching the market right now, the markets are absolutely taking off, and stocks like net, any tech-based stock, AI-based stock. I know Cloudflare is not really AI-based. I'm getting like a kidney problem or something over here. What the hell's going on? Jesus. Oh, maybe it's all that vaping. My lungs failing on me. Anyways. Net, Cloudflare, I think they have a little bit of an AI component in their cybersecurity business that they have overall. Also, domain services that they provide through their domain purchasing services that Cloudflare offers, I think, man, that looks pretty damn good. We do have their earnings report disseminated a little bit with the help of Benzinga. Shout out to Benzinga, obviously, for hooking up with an account for that one. And also ChatGPT helping us with summarizing all the information from Benzinga's report for us about net. So we'll talk about that very, very soon. But let's start off with Affirm. Today's market, real quick, up 0.19% for the S&P 500, ending at another new all-time high, and the S&P 500 also ending at another new all-time high, but only up by 0.04%. So a little bit of a muted move on the bigger markets. The IWM market is what took the show today by being up 1.52%. We were talking about this yesterday about how QQQ and S&P 500 were taking off and IWM was getting left behind. Today, IWM finally getting caught up a bit, but still under 200, sadly, still under 200. Prad, going to give you mod controls on my stream in case you want to look at the other future instruments. Ooh, I appreciate that. Thank you, Think with Bookmap. That's awesome. Yeah, I do look at your streams for futures because I like to see where the levels are on the NASDAQ when I'm trading the QQQ and so on. So your streams are amazing. Amazing. Looking at the chat over here, I'm not seeing anyone putting in any specific stocks to talk about, so I'm gonna get started over here with our watch list. I was waiting to see if anyone of you is gonna put in any stocks to add to our watch list for us to kind of look at these stocks to be specific, but nope, we're gonna get going. Affirm today with the earnings report. The earnings report was a little bit all over the place, in my opinion. From what I read on the report, it was pretty damn positive, but the buy now, pay never later theme is, I guess, playing out over here. Affirm getting pushed down on that catalyst. I was expecting, we do get a break of that 52-week high. We have seen Affirm in the $100 of areas before. I remember trading the IPO for Affirm. I remember looking at these moves into 175 into 180. I remember exactly this move over here on this day when the stock made that move. I think this was around, maybe this is the day when the catalyst came out. You know what? Yeah, it was this day. So stock earnings came out, we popped up into the north side, the stock kind of consolidated, didn't really do anything, and then the news comes out that they have a partnership with Amazon, and then it launches up to the north side. Maybe this was the day, maybe I'm just getting confused. I think whenever they announced the partnership with Amazon, it kind of made that peak and then just died off ever since then. Obviously, COVID and a bunch of other catalysts came into play to kind of destroy Affirm over here to the downside. Finally recovering a little bit, not all the way, recovering a little bit. I was hoping that maybe we would see the 52-week break high over here, but that is not the way that Affirm wanted to play out, I guess. On the earnings report, clearly pushing down. So let's go take a look at the earnings report over here. Once again, shout out to Benzinga. Shout out to Benzinga for helping us disseminate it or helping us find the information that we need. If you guys want to subscribe to Benzinga, please go check out the link below in the description, and you'll be able to, get amazing tools like Benzinga, TraderSync, and Trade Ideas, all three of which I use every single day on a day-to-day basis for my trading and to improve and journalizing and all that. So Benzinga is giving us the report, and we're using ChatGPT to kind of save us some time, basically being lazy because I don't want to read the whole report. So being a little lazy and using AI tools to help us read this information quicker. So let's take a look through this. Q2 revenue increased 48% year over year. Amazing. Loss per share was B compared to a loss per share of 72 cents expectation. They reported 54 cents, a beat. Gross merchandise volume 32% year over year increase, beat. That makes making the third consecutive quarter of accelerated growth, so 3 quarters in a row of growth coming in for Affirm finally, but they're still reporting loss. They don't really make money yet. You can go check that on over here. You can also look at their balance books and so on to kind of see that they're not making money, but a quick way to see if a company is making money or not is to go check their price to earnings ratio. If a stock is not reporting a price to earnings ratio, it's because they're not making any. They don't have a price to earnings ratio to to be plotted on the calculators over there. So losing money over here every single time they're reporting earnings, sadly. Still a growth company, right? Still a growth company, still growing, still in its early infancy stages, I guess you can call it, but showing what you want to see from a growth company, which is accelerated growth, 3 consecutive quarters of growth. Revenue minus transaction costs showed a 68% year-over-year increase. Active Affirm card consumers exceeded 700,000 at the end of the quarter. CEO highlighted the company's commitment to building operating leverage without sacrificing credit card performance or credit performance, volume growth or innovation. Anticipates third quarter. Okay, that's a pretty important. Here's the forecast. So third quarter revenue in the range of 530 to 550, which is surpassing well past the estimates of 487 million. So estimates are what's guidance looks good over here. Gross merchandise volume expected to be between 5.8 and 6 billion. Affirm shares overall, though, however, were down about 8.3% at the time that this report came out. I think we were down from the close till the low about 24%, and we ended down about 12ish% to the downside, sadly, in the after hours over here for Affirm overall today. So that is the move. That is the report. I'm not sure why we moved so much to the downside. I guess that 55, is that the 52-week high? Let's just go check again. Not really. The 52-week high is that right there, the 52.48, sorry. But pinging that 55 high, coming in exactly, and then flushing to the downside, kind of breaking the momentum that the stock has had for the last few, I guess this is today, sorry, this is the 5-minute chart. We're breaking the momentum that the stock has had for the last few bit. That kind of sucks. Now, let me go to the 60-minute chart and see if we can find some levels to kind of watch out for. We already have the 52-week high already mapped out. We have today's low and today's high mapped out. Now, I want to see what other areas of interest could possibly show up on the stock tomorrow for us to look out for. This little bottom over here and at the December 2023 area, also the bottom of February 2024. So and that's also exactly when the rally started off a little bit. So looking at that bottom, maybe if it comes into play, I think we might just be exactly at that bottom right now in the after hours, or bouncing off of that. Look at that, right? Beautiful. I would love to hit the Prastradamus emoji over here, but really I'm not the one, making the science over here. The science has been made for us. We're just kind of putting the lines down, helping it discover the next move, or maybe identify what the next move could be. So we identify the sellers in this area, we identify the buyers and why the buyers are in that area. Now the question is, how can the stock give us a trade off of these overall areas that we've identified? I do believe we will see some sort of a reversal, because that report was pretty damn bullish. I mean, at least in my opinion, it was pretty bullish. It looked very, very much like the stock is growing, which is exactly what you want to see from a growth company. So I would like to see the stock to show us some sort of supports getting built into pre-market, not really flushing too much to the downside, and start being able to reclaim. Why did I hit that? Start reclaiming yesterday's low somewhere around, what is that, $45, reclaim $45, and then start going back up to the north side. I might just delete that line just because it's too cloggy over here. So I like to see also that line is showing you a little bit of consolidation over there, which is right around 42, 43, 42.80, 42.50. You can just say 43 to 42.50 area, showing a little bit of a consolidation after bouncing off of that 37.80 area, which looks pretty important for me. That was a February low, that was a December low. So if the stock does manage to go back into this area, I think we could look for some longs. The earnings anchored VWAP is above where the stock is currently trading into, which is a little bit bearish, but a stock did pretty much the same yesterday. If I can remember which one that is, I think it was on our watch list. Was it this one? Not really, even though the anchored VWAP is above where the stock ended, the stock did gap up, so it's not this one. I'm forgetting what was the stock that did it. There were a couple other stocks where the earnings report was positive. They did flush down, but later on in pre-market, they reclaimed the day before's low, and they kind of trade within the range of the after-hour move. You might see the stock go back into 55, but reject 55 tomorrow. The report, once again, was pretty damn bullish, so I will be, not confused at all if I see the stock going up. I might actually look for the longs, but if we're seeing the stock clearly rejecting yesterday's low, which is exactly where the earnings VWAP is, you might want to be looking out for the possible short side coming in for a bigger move downside. This could also be some sort of profit taking coming in, and then buying actually kicks in tomorrow, which is what I want to be participating in. So let's see if a firm can reclaim and not open into SSR. That's a point I'm forgetting to mention. If the stock does open 10% or lower, it will be opening into SSR, which is short sale restriction. You cannot get short by taking out the size on the bids. You have to wait for the stock to actually go higher and get short. So it's actually better if the stock goes higher at that point after being SSR, because you want to be short at those areas. Chia TraderPrad, what's up, Coco? Hey, that's my dog's name. Not the way you pronounce it though, but Coco, that's my dog's name. Or maybe yours is Cuckoo. Is your name's Cuckoo or Coco? Either way. What's up, brother? Had a ton of shit fun past week or so. Had to catch you on replay. Nah, you're good, Michael. I'm glad you were having fun. Go get that enjoyment. Go. What was it? Were you on vacation? What were you doing? And why was I not invited? Huh? Where's the invite at? But I'm glad that you were catching me on replay, brother. Much appreciated. Thank you for all the love and support that you guys show me on these streams. I can't say that enough. Let's head on to the next stock over here. Even though I do have lines mapped out on a firm, I kind of want to see what happens in pre-market before I make some notes on the stock, because I want to see the stock get above yesterday's low, which is right around that earnings anchored VWAP, and then hold above that price, which is a good long in my opinion. Now, Pinterest, another stock that whipped around a lot. This one whipped around almost as much as a firm, maybe a little bit more than a firm, because it had a lot more back and forth. It flushed, popped back up, popped higher, then flushed again, showing you that clearly no matter what, on this earnings report, there is a seller in today's range, because anytime we popped into the, or not anytime, but the first pop we popped into today's range, it got flushed right back and sold right back to the downside and sold off hard. The volume came in big time, and then we got sold off right back to the downside, sadly. If the volume for the buy side came in with such big aggression, you don't want to see a stock met with selling right away after that aggression. Kind of like you want to see sellers being scared. Oh my god, buyers are coming in, the earnings report looks good, buyers are coming in, maybe this is not a short. You want to see sellers being scared, but if the sellers are also being aggressive and stuffing it right back down after that big volume candle and another big volume candle came into the long slide, then that's showing you that there might be some sort of a big seller coming into play over here on Pinterest. So very, very interested to see what happens over here in the after hour ranges, especially into this $42, which is I guess today's high too. Today's high is $41.27, but this after hour high of 42, don't think we see that coming into play. We might just see a $40 push and a rejection of 40 tomorrow, which would be an awesome opportunity to short this stock. Pinterest had a little bit of a mixed report, although we do see Trading View say that it is a green report, mainly because EPS was green, but revenue was very slightly of a miss. I think it was a mixed report, and we can go find that out about it a little bit more from our good friends at ChatGPT. So let's go take a look at this one. 12% year-over-year increase on revenue, and missing the consensus estimate, sadly. Oh, what am I saying? The revenue of 981 million, which is an increase of 12%, but still missing the consensus estimate of 989 million, which is what we saw on TradingView. Quarterly adjusted earnings were 53 cents per share, beating analyst estimates of 51 cents. So beating earnings per share positively. That's good. Global monthly active users reached an all-time high of 498 million, reflecting an 11% increase year over year. Pinterest, 11% year over year increase in active users. That's amazing. Companies like Snapchat are actually losing that. Maybe no, Snapchat actually went up in daily active, if I remember. Or did it go down? I forget if it went up or if it went down. But companies like social media companies, you want to see their daily active go up. So thankfully Pinterest over here, their daily active is going up. Maybe that was part of the reason why the stock got bought up randomly on the last two pops we saw on the chart. Pinterest CEO highlighted that the alignment of the user and advertiser interests as a key strength for the company. Okay, I can understand that, because a lot of people who usually use Pinterest could get swayed into buying some products, and if the advertiser is advertising the right products to the right customer, and they can do that using Pinterest data, there's a better chance of their products getting sold through Pinterest than their products are possibly getting sold through maybe a YouTube advertisement or something. So Pinterest could help out in like maybe mug sales or maybe some other special covers or stuff like that, whatever Pinterest is used for. So I can understand their point over there with advertisements. The company provided a first quarter revenue outlook in the range of 690 million to 705 million, with an operating expense expected to be between 450 to 465 million. Shares went down 13% after hours. That is at the time of the report, but overall it did go down sadly after making that violent pop and back and forward action on Pinterest. Now let's go zoom out the stock on a longer time frame. Let's go to the daily chart first. The stock has made a beautiful rally, kind of like what a firm looks like, right? Popping up, going back down, the COVID period hurting a lot of stocks sadly, and now getting back above the IPO range high, finally getting back above the IPO range high, which actually ended up being a pretty good support area, if you can see. See that nice little support in the recent history for the stock, right in the low of January and a little bit of a December too. So nice support coming into that range over there from the IPO season. But Pinterest clearly getting above that. I will not doubt the stock bouncing somewhere over here in the pre-market or after hours. Let's go check that one out. Look at that, right? Awesome. So those levels coming right back into play a little bit, so we'll be interested to see what happens over here. This one is the IPO day high. Not like it's important, but IPO high. Awesome. Going back to the 60-minute chart and then turning off the regular trading hours, or sorry, extended trading hours, because I only want to see what happens during intraday. Stock is a little whippy. There are a couple areas where it kind of holds and then whips and comes back right under. It does this over here too, so it's clearly a little whippy. That looks a little too many lines, honestly. But oh my god, did we really go all the way down there in the after hours? $29? Jesus. Back into 2023 areas. Yeah, might have to wait and see what happens in this one and pre-market too, honestly. This stock is a little too violent of a move overall. Big flush, bought right back up, consolidated, bought more, sold off, and then kind of channeled to the downside, and then buyers kind of fell off. This consolidation is a little important. This consolidation is a little important. I will possibly wait and see what happens in pre-market. Same as a firm. Not really sure what I want to do with this stock yet. Looks like there's a clear seller to the upside, and there's a lot of levels over here to the upside that match up with other important technical indicators such as anchored VWAPs and so on. So I think there's quite a bit of a room over here for the stock to get sold into, anywhere into $40. So I think the first point of reflection that I'll kind of wait for the stock to push into before I make a decision will be that $40 area. So resistance 40, and as for supports, I'm gonna wait to see what happens in pre-market to put those ones. A lot of confusing moves over here in the after hours on stocks like Affirm and Pinterest today, sadly. But we don't have to worry about that one when we go into the next stock over here, which is NET. Kind of looking like what ARM did yesterday. ARM popped up, sold off, and kind of consolidated. Did exactly what we wanted it to do in the pre-market, and then broke out, doing what the SMCI move was like on ARM. But NET, not really a semiconductor stock, so it will be stupid and really idiotic to expect an SMCI type of move or a semiconductor type of move. It is, however, a technology-based stock, and tech has been absolutely pushing up to the north side. QQQ, all-time highs. A lot of tech has been pushing into all-time highs. So net is pretty important for tomorrow. However, net's pretty goddamn far from all-time highs. We're like almost $120 away from all-time highs over here. I think today, though, in the after hours, we did reclaim 100. Yeah, we did reclaim the $100 area finally. Got back above 100. 115 is the high in the after hours, apparently. Nice little consolidation over here in the 102. If that area comes into play in the pre-market tomorrow, if you get to dip by 102 in the pre-market, you might want to think about it. That's a pretty tight stop too to get involved in, and that's a lot of volume that came into the stock also. So if 102 gets offered, that might be an absolute gift, and you might not get that opportunity again. So watch out for that area. Off the open, though, I think the stock might be somewhere into this 105s into 110s area, at which point you're possibly looking for the breakout of 110, maybe getting sold into 115, trading between 115 and 110, and then another breakout later on of 115 maybe. Just guessing over here. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But we'll be interested to see what happens tomorrow on Cloudflare and some of the levels that maybe we could keep an eye out for. We can quickly zoom out over here on the daily chart, on the 60-minute chart, and kind of zoom out. Maybe where are we again? In the 115 areas. We're somewhere here. So we are right now on the 60-minute chart, where every candle is basically 60 minutes worth of information, and I want to look out for some important areas of interest for myself on this stock. A couple areas already being pointed out for me just at a quick glance. 1, 2, 3 triple top, sold out, broke out, another rejection, and a monster sell-off. So that area of 122 seems pretty important to me if you ask me. Another little important area above 122 is that 133.36, 132.36. Basically, let's say 132 to 132.50. Another area of importance for me. We're talking about levels all the way back in 2022, January, and 2022 April, March. So watch out what happens. Watch out to see what happens in that area. However, the stock is still like what, $5-7-ish away from here, compared to the after hour high from the earnings report. Not sure if these numbers even come into play, but if they do, it'll be hard to see the stock go higher than this area tomorrow. So watch out to see what happens into these prices. I'm not really seeing any other price other than that that's way too interesting. Maybe you can kind of throw in some little levels around here, that little peak, that little rejection. You can see how also that matches up with this little consolidation, breakout, reject, and so on. So you could throw in a line somewhere right over there that matches up with a bunch of levels too. Little choppy over here, little choppy over here with that line, but you can see how that is exactly near that 115 area where we found some rejection in the after hours. A little bit of buying into this 115 also, where the consolidation came in on the recent history, April 2022, where the stock actually hasn't traded in for a long time, right? We haven't been into this price 115 for when was the last time we were in 115? Right here. This was the last time we were in 115. So that little consolidation area could be a little important, but it's like 1 day's worth of information, is it not? Maybe not. It's 1, 2, 3, almost 4 days worth of consolidation there. Yeah, maybe not bad at all. We'll wait to see what happens into 107.20 area also on net to the north side. We got a bunch of areas to keep an eye out for on net tomorrow. Let's go back to the 5-minute chart. Bang. Oh, look at that. Right, so 115 and a nice little hold above 107.20. That's actually pretty bullish for me. Anchor view up also kind of coming into this area. The moving averages are also just straight shot up to the north side, showing you that the bullish momentum that the stock has. I guess you could just look at the chart for that and see that the stock looks pretty damn bullish to me, Prad. So net tomorrow, let's see what happens above 115, if we can even get there. If we can get above 115, I think we have something into 107 and then something into 122 to keep an eye out for on net, N-E-T. Next stock on board, next stop on the train, on the Prad Express, Expedia. Stock with a good earnings report, sadly flushing to the downside. Wait, did we even read Net's earnings report over here? I guess we don't really need to. We know that they're absolutely killing it, but for those of you who want to take a look at it, here's the numbers: 32% year-over-year increase in revenue. A bunch of other valuations just absolutely killing it too. Their guidance is going up too, I believe, if I remember accurately. Earnings 58 to 59 cents per share, estimates of 56 cents. Revenue, that's a full year expectations. Full year 1.64 billion to 1.65 billion compared to estimates of 1.65 billion. So basically in line or better for the full year. Outlook for Q1 2024 is pretty much better than the estimates. Estimates for the earnings per share is pretty much in line or better. So bullish estimates, bullish report, everything bullish move. So we're bullish in heart for that stock. Next one, Expedia. Expedia reported $1.72 compared to $1.68, so beat on EPS. Expedia reported 2.89 compared to 2.88, a beat on revenue also. The CEO, oh, what is this? Growing is set to succeed. Okay, so CEO changes coming in on May 13th of 2024. Expedia achieved record full year lodging and booking growing by 11%. I guess obviously with the COVID gone and people going on vacations more and hotels more, companies like Expedia, companies like American Airlines, seeing more bookings, seeing more revenue coming in. So Expedia is seeing record growth coming in compared to 2022. Peter, CEO, highlighted the successful transformation and improved technological position, expressing confidence in executing without previous constraints. Shares are now trading, however, to the downside, sadly, even after what looks like a pretty damn bullish report to me, and to, I guess, you guys too, maybe. But overall, the report is taking the stock right back to the south side and not allowing it to go into the all-time high. So bang, bang, wang. Big move, actually. Big move to the downside. Are we back into 122? Somewhere around there. Pretty damn close back into 122. So let's go put some lines on our charts by going back into the 60-minute time frame. That's today's low. Jeez, stocks kind of traded in this area for a long time and we broke down that area. Yeah, that's pretty damn bearish. Yeah, going below 144 in the earnings report is pretty damn bearish if you ask me. Things like this I kind of hate because I don't really know where to put the line when things like that happens. I don't know how to put a line here. Maybe like a flat line over here, maybe? Something like that. This is 1 day's worth of information. Do I really care about that? I don't give a fuck about that. That would be the same thing too. That's like 1 day's worth of information. Do I really care about that? I'm gonna leave it in for now. Too many lines, Prad. Too many lines, Prad. Stop it. Stop putting lines down. I gotta talk to myself sometimes before I go too crazy. Before I go too wild over here with these lines and bullshit. Sometimes I gotta talk to myself. But here you go. Wow. Okay. So pretty much the bottom. Consolidated a little bit. I still feel like I have way too many lines going on. I might need to refine this a little bit in pre-market tomorrow. But the fact that the stock got under a significant low of that 144.50, I think is the important thing. If you just zoom back again to the 60-minute chart and see where that 144 area comes in, right there, that 144.50 area being blown out is pretty bearish. You would expect on the earnings report that we just read for Expedia, it would maybe pull back into 144.50 and show you buying off of there, but clearly rejecting that and going into these lows, this consolidation, that shows you now we have a range between here. Now the box that we're looking for the stock to trade within is this 133.50. Sorry, 134.50 into 144.50, 134.50 to 145.50, 144.50. I'm just losing my mind over here. So let me just put in this 144.50 area, because I think if any pops happen into that 144.50, you're looking for a short. There's a good chance the stock rejects even before that. The earnings anchored VWAP is at 142.50. There's a good chance that we see selling coming in well before that on Expedia. The report is clearly being sold off, and it's not doing what Affirm and Pinterest did, right? Affirm and Pinterest, even though they got sold off, they initially got a lot of back and forth action. They went up and they went down. They went back up and they went back down. Pinterest did that too. But the EXP, straight to the downside. No back and forth. Just straight down, a little bit of buying, and then more rejection, more rejection. So we're possibly looking for the stock to get sold off more, especially if we see any pops coming back into the north side into 144.50. Next stock, Clean Spark. Not sure what they do, but a stock that came out with earnings, popped up to the north side in a little bit of a clean range. Clean Spark, clean range. So that's why I put it on the watch list. Recent IPOs looks like did not too of a recent. I guess 2014. I haven't even started trading the stock since then. So not too recent of IPO, but it has been moving around quite a bit. Maybe an energy stock of some sort. Bitcoin mining. Okay. So if it's a Bitcoin mining stock, then depends on how much Bitcoin they own on their portfolio, blah, 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 blah. If they have any other specific uses that they're promising with their Bitcoin and whatnot. Not sure what other things that the company over here does, but the earnings report is pretty bullish, and they are popping up to the north side, taking out the 1255 area. This is the daily chart. Into the daily chart, you can see how we kind of have a little bit of a level into 1356. So if we do push into 1356 tomorrow, maybe an opportunity to look for some shorts over there. But if we just break through 1356 and kind of see what Bitcoin is doing, you see Bitcoin is once again back into 44K. Is at 45K now. Let's go, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is going back up to the north side. You're watching stocks like Coinbase, Mara, Riot all start moving back up. Oh, look at Mara today, 23%. Wow, wee-wah. So all these positions are absolutely launching up to the north side. So Clean Spark with earnings report, with other Bitcoin catalysts behind it, maybe we do see that 1356 breaking and a bigger launch above it. So watch out for this one tomorrow. I am interested to see what happens at that price, 1356 Clean Spark. Next stop, BILL. What do you guys do, Bill? Cloud-based technology. Simplifies, digitizes, automates complex back office financial operations for small and mid-sized companies. Software helps generate and process invoices. Oh, come on. You don't need help with all that. You're a useless company. You're a useless company. No one needs help with that. If you need help with making invoices, you need some help. Streamline approvals, send and receive payments, sync with their accounting systems and manage their cash. You need a software for all this? Company's useless, dude. You can do all of this through Google Sheets. Automate it yourself through Google Sheets. This company is useless. What the hell? Garbage company. But hey, the earnings report came out. We're not here to discuss if the company is worth it or not. We're here to discuss if the trade is worth it or not. And so far, I think there is a little bit of a trade here. They did pop up after hours on the earnings report, but they got stuffed right back down into the day's range and traded in the day's range after the earnings report came out. Looks like we do have a clear identification of a seller into this 92.22. So if we do pop back above to the north side tomorrow, where is Bill? Bill over here, 92.22 area, keeping that on watch. Looks like we do, however, have some buying right back into today's lows around the 73.50 area. Is that today's low? We closed at 73.50 in the after hours. Today's low was 74, but we did go as low as 68 also. So basically the idea is you're watching to see what happens. The infliction, the main area that you want to see the stock hold, or you want to see to before you want to start making a decision is the stock holding between this range of 74 to 77. If it's holding cleanly and showing you buying in this range, there's a possibility that we actually get back above 77 and maybe start having a little bit of a room into 82 and then eventually into 92. The earnings report, let's go check out what that one looks like. Is it bullish or not? Looks like Bill beat Q2 estimates is the headline over there. 57 beat on EPS, 42 cents per share, which is 50%, yeah, beat on EPS. 6.83% beat on revenue. Sales increased by 22.5%. Core revenue increased by 19%. Subscription fees increased by 3%. Transaction increased by 25%. CEO talking about 470,000 businesses automated. 470,000 idiots getting automated, basically, who don't know how to create it themselves and wasting their money. So shout out to the 470,000 people over there. Bill raised fiscal whatever, okay. Adjusted per share guidance, okay. Bill shares traded down, which is what I would expect it to do anyway. So traded to the downside. Gotta go. Final boss tomorrow, Friday, says Josh. Josh, take care, my friend. I will see you tomorrow. Well, I won't see you tomorrow, but I'll see you Sunday if you're here. If not, I'll see you Monday. Wish you the best in the market tomorrow and have a great night, my friend. So Bill over here, guys, the main we want to see once again, idea is hold this area, break out of this area and start looking for a move higher, or reject this area, break down to this area and look for a move to the downside. So that's the main range that I'll be watching tomorrow to make some decisions on. Last but not least, of the stocks that reported earnings today after hours. Actually, wait a minute, I forgot to do one thing on Bill. Forgot to go take a look at the stock on the 60-minute time frame. See if we find any interesting levels for tomorrow. We do. Come on, Prad. Way too many lines, Prad. Way too many lines, Prad. Way too many lines, Prad. Let me stop myself over there. Let's turn on extended trading hours again. Let's zoom back out. Yeah, pretty choppy. Pretty choppy. How much does the stock do average volume? Average 30-day volume of 1.86 million? That's not good at all. Not the best. That's not what we want to see. At least today brought in 7 million shares. So on earnings days or days before earnings, looks like it does bring in a little bit of elevated volume. It does bring in some days 20 million shares. So that's good. So let's see if we can bring in some extra volume tomorrow. But Bill, priority on Bill is a little bit lower. I think, you know, a lot of people will be watching NET, PINS, or AFRM. So Bill's priority will be much lower tomorrow. Take-Two also probably just one of those stocks with a lower priority, but Take-Two, because it's a short tomorrow, it might be a higher priority for me because I just like the short stocks. You guys know it. Their earnings report didn't really come out too hot for them. Let's go take a look at Take-Two's earnings report. Quarterly net bookings down 3% year over year. Net bookings decreased 7%, accounting for 75% of total net booking. Recurring customers spending net bookings decreased. Okay, recurring customer spending decreased by 7%, and that accounts for 75% of their total bookings. Major contributors to net bookings includes NBA 2K24, Grand Theft Auto Online. Isn't the new Grand Theft Auto coming out soon though? So Take-Two should kind of launch from that. I don't know. We'll see. Net revenue was down 3% year over year. I guess it makes sense. You know, not a lot of people are trying to spend money on games right now with interest rates that are high and so on. Makes sense. CEO mentioned Q3 results noted softness in the mobile advertising and sales for NBA. Ooh. Reduced outlook attributes for the factors such as planned release moving out of Q4 and making Zynga's new mobile game. Wait, do they own Zynga? Does Take-Two own Zynga? I guess so. I forgot. Yeah, they bought Zynga. I forgot that merger happened. I remember trading that merger. After hours, we saw the stock plummet, sadly. I mean, obviously, all the numbers were miss. So the only thing that the stock is going to do is flushed out after that kind of report. So much more to the downside, most likely coming in tomorrow. The stock does have a pretty decent ATR. Nope, it doesn't. It only has an ATR of $3, but we might see a little bit of more extended ATR tomorrow. This looks like a pretty solid support right into this area over here of 157, 157.85. Another area of support possibly could get built into these areas over here, so watch out for what happens into 152 if we get much lower than that. But right now I'm looking for much more downside on the stock, sadly. Let's go back into the extended hours. Look at that, picture perfect. Picture perfect, right? Bouncing right off of that 152. I think we could look for longs in front of 152 tomorrow if the stock doesn't go too much lower than 152. 151.50 is the after hour low, so let me just kind of put that one in. 151.50 to 150, honestly, all the way down to 150. I think 150 could come into play, and if it does, you could look for some longs off of that area. Resistances right now, the anchored VWAP for earnings is around 159, so I'll just say 159 to 160 is possible. Good resistances. Any sort of bounces into 160, you're looking for shorts. I don't think the stock goes much higher than the earnings anchored VWAP most likely tomorrow, but the stock will already be on SSR being down more than 10-ish% or so that might be a little bit harder for you to short tomorrow. Be careful for that. Take-Two 100% on the watch. This one just went higher on my priority, although I told you guys most likely not on your priority. You guys should probably focus on Affirm, Pinterest, Net. I think those will give you monster opportunities to make money on. However, I'm going to be the champion who's going to catch all the Pokemon and trade all of them at the same time. Talking about catching Pokemon, I've been playing Pal World a lot because I get to stay home right now, right? And Pal World, my world got deleted. I had so much progress, so much hours put into this goddamn world, and my world got deleted. Thankfully, the game actually saves every like minute or so. Like they kind of back up every minute by minute, so my game was backed up and I was able to retrieve it. But boy, I was gonna get so furious if my world deleted because I had like so many Pokemons caught. Well, sorry, I can't say Pokemons. It's not Pokemon, it's pals. I had so many pals caught. I was like, you know, already at such a good level, put in so many hours already into the game. It would suck. It would have sucked to start all over again. And I don't think I would have, honestly. I don't think I would have. And I'm sure Lucas would have been happy if that happened, because then he would have had me on back on Tarkov more. Back on Tarkov. But I'm sure you guys don't care about what I just said. I'm just talking about video games. I'm sure you guys don't care. So let's go back to the market. The next 3 stocks over here that are on the watch list for tomorrow come from the pre-market. So Pepsi, CGC, and Enbridge, all 3 of them report pre-market, and all 3 of them actually come out with the earnings call also pre-market. Another one that I'm actually forgetting is Blue Owl. Blue Owl seemed pretty interesting to me. It will be interesting to see if the stock can bring in volume pre-market. Then we can kind of trade this one and have some fun with it. I think the all-time high could come into play for Blue Owl if the earnings report comes out with a banger report. So I'll be interested to see what happens over here. And they have a conference call at 8:30. So Blue Owl conference call 8:30 a.m. Enbridge conference call 9 a.m. CGC conference call 10 a.m. and Pepsi conference call 8:15 a.m. So the only one that we kind of don't really care about because of their conference call is CGC, and we also don't really care about the weed stocks because they just get smoked every time anyways. It's just no point trading those stocks and no point investing in. I think everyone's over the hype of investing in weed, and if everyone's over the hype of investing in weed, then why would you look to even want to go long in weed? And at the same time, why would you look to go short CGC or weed stocks right now when the markets are at an all-time high? It just doesn't make sense looking for that opportunity. It could work out, yes, but you will have a better chance looking for longs on NET or even on OWL when it's taking out the all-time high. When the market's taking out the all-time high, you might just have a way easier opportunity to look for those longs over there. So when the market's bullish, be bullish. And I guess the same thing applies for the next stock over here, which is ARM. What a monster move on ARM today. Hopefully you guys took my advice from last night. I told you guys this could be an SMCI type of move, 50% to the north side, and the party is not done yet. I think we will see another train, another ride. Not sure which direction tomorrow, but we're gonna see another ride tomorrow for sure. The semiconductors are clearly very, very hot. You're basically watching out for today's high coming into play. This after hour low of 108, 109. It's actually 108.89, but 109, which is also, if you can see, exactly yesterday's VWAP. Yesterday's VWAP is now exactly the after hour high. So I will not be surprised if some buying comes into ARM off of that price. So watching 109 for some buying, watching 126.50 for some opportunities to possibly get some shorts into, but you want to be clearly short. You want to be clearly very careful looking for shorts on a stock so damn strong. Maybe you can look at for some shorts because SMCI on the day 2 after earnings report did give you an opportunity to short it. This was day 1. This was day 2. Maybe it didn't give you an opportunity. Wait, what the hell? Oh no, this is the day over here that I'm thinking about, right? No. Yes, this is the day I'm thinking about. Yes, this is the day I'm thinking about. So, you know, on day 2, it did give you a nice little short. This was the day where they upgraded their guidance. Day 2, it did give you a short off of that. So maybe something like that shows up on ARM tomorrow for us to be involved in. But you got to be very careful, right? Very, very hot sector. Very bullish sector. People are looking to buy semiconductor stocks that have been left behind. And ARM was one of those stocks that was left behind. I will not say Intel is being left behind. Intel is left behind purposefully because it's dog shit. Intel has been running themselves to the ground, so you know, shout out to Intel. But companies like Nvidia, AMD, people are going hand over fist to just buy any kind of shares that they can on these companies, and they are also looking for any ones that are getting left behind, and ARM was one of them. ARM actually is a much bigger semiconductor company than Nvidia or AMD, I think. I could be wrong by saying that, but in terms of how much they provide in the semiconductor world, I think they're actually a much bigger provider for semiconductors and chips. So ARM over there, although notice how I said I think, I need to do my research. I don't know. I just think they are, at least from what I've heard, they are. So do your own research, do your own due diligence at the end of the day. ARM, very, very bullish move today. I'll be looking for another bullish continuation. See if any of these lines that we have drawn out, especially that 109 can show me some buying. We do have other stocks on board such as Uber, Roblox, Snapchat, but those are kind of just in the shadow realms for me. I'm not really too worried about looking for trades on these stocks. kind of look at them on the daily, right? Spotify needs to break out of this 247 for me to be worried about it. Snapchat did break down after the earnings report, and now I'm kind of over it, right? We got the long off of 12 into 1250. We got the short off of 1250 to the downside. Well, I shouldn't say we, because I didn't short it off of 1250. I got the long off of 12 into 1250. I never really flipped into the short side, but it did flush off of it, and now the stock is kind of dying back down. We've seen it do this after every single earnings report. Go up, die down, and kind of just consolidate, and then sympathy trade back up with the help of Meta or Pinterest or whatever. So there's a chance that Snapchat maybe gets bought back up a little bit with the help of Pinterest, who had a positive report. But if Pinterest sells down a little bit more tomorrow, then in my opinion Snapchat could possibly drag down with the help of Pinterest because of that sympathy trade. So watch out for that one coming into play on SNAP. Spotify, not on radar at all. Uber, you could put it on your radar. It did make a new all-time high today, but on a very, very light volume, very little move coming into Uber. The day 2 move was non-existent, and I kind of told you that, told you to expect that, because the day 1 move after earnings was literally non-existent, right? This is the day 1 move off of earnings. After hours, we did nothing. The day itself, we did nothing. So today, I mean, it did gap up, but it did nothing. It flushed the downside. I guess it did give you some shorts, but it did nothing. So you can't expect the stock to do something on day 3 when day 1 didn't do anything and day 2 didn't do anything. So Uber, you could maybe put it on watch, just the fact that it's near all-time highs. Besides that, I just don't care about Uber too much for tomorrow. Roblox on the daily chart, still at that level that we're waiting to see what happens. It actually pushed right back into that level today and rejected that level and flushed right back down. So looks like there is some selling right into that 47 area, 47 to 47.20. And anytime we push to the higher side of that prices, Roblox just seemed to find some struggle. So I'm gonna only be looking at that price point and that price point only. If we can push back into 47 to 47.20, if I can find an opportunity to go short, risk that break of 47.20 as my stop, I want to be involved in that trade. So Roblox, watching that one. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Palantir. I kind of kept this one in the last of the watch list, because Palantir has been hot today. We actually kind of called out the opportunity to short the stock back through 24 on the opening drive. You see how on the open it kind of struggled, broke above 24, trapped all the longs, and then flushed right to the downside, held yesterday's VWAP, which is the day 2 VWAP, right? Day 1 move, day 2 move, day 2, this is the day 3 move. Day 3 breaks day 2's high, traps the longs, flushes to the downside, finds buyers again on the anchored VWAP of the day 2 move, and now we're moving back up north. This is textbook anchored VWAP from Brian Shannon, right? Exactly what he talks about in his book over there from anchored VWAPs. When a stock makes a big move off of a catalyst such as earnings catalyst from Palantir takes it higher. On the second day, it actually basically bounces a little bit higher than the day 1 or earnings VWAP. On the second day, we actually bounce off of that day's VWAP, and on the third day, we bounce off of the second day's VWAP. So clearly, it's doing exactly how Brian Shannon talks about and gives you some trade opportunities to look for. You see that bounce come in, then it kind of flushes back in, traps a little bit over here, and then bounces back up. You look for the long somewhere in these 2 candles, and then you run up the stock right back to the high side. Eventually though, there was about 6,000 lots at $25. What is that? Let's say 6,500 if I can remember accurately, times, actually it's not times, so 6,500, add 2 zeros, times 25. That's $105 million being sold at the $25 area. That's insane. Is that right? 6,500 lots, add 2 zeros because that's how much size it is, 650,000, times that by the price of the stock, which is $25. Okay, yeah, it's not 105 million. I was gonna say, if it was 105 million, the stock would have rejected much harder, and I would have printed on that short. No, it was only 16 million. It wasn't 105 million. Sorry, I did something wrong there. It was only 16 million, but still $16 million asking to be sold at $25. The stock did manage to break that $25 area, but then it came right back under 25, and then eventually much later on in the day sold off and kind of pushed back the view up, and that's where it closed into. So Palantir still very bullish. Do I think there's a day 4 trade? Yes, I do. Is day 4 in my playbook? No, it's not. There is no day 4 setup. Brian Shannon doesn't talk about it in his book. No one talks about a day 4 playbook. Everyone will most likely say, as a day trader, why not just go look at stocks that are having a day 1 move or a day 2 move instead of looking for a day 4 play on Palantir? And the reason behind it is because I like the stock. I like the stock, right? I actually do think Palantir has a possibility to get above 25 tomorrow. However, it does not matter what I think, what I believe, what I like, or what I don't like. The market never gives a shit about you or your opinions. It only cares about itself. So you got to be ready to see what the market does tomorrow. We'll wait patiently, see if the stock can get above 25. If it does, we do have some solid resistance areas where the stock can find some selling into, at which point we could lose these areas to take profits or use these areas to flip short. So watch out for that 25 area on Palantir. There was a solid seller over there today. That seller did get taken out at one point, but the seller came back. So the question is that seller there tomorrow too? 3 big candles so far on Palantir into this 25 area post ER. So you're watching that 25 price. Let me just put it into my notes over here. $25. And what's the low today? 23.32. I'll just say 23. You're watching 23.30. So that's the notes for that one. And now the next part of our watch list is actually the mega tech, the big tech, the QQQ, the S&P 500. What do I expect from the mega tech? I mean, nothing really too important tomorrow on the economic calendar, so I don't really know what to expect from the market tomorrow, right? We have no big economic calendar events coming out to move the market, so the market could easily just kind of have an inside day. We could maybe even have a little bit of a sell-off day and go test yesterday's low, not today's low, yesterday's low on the S&P 500 at 495. Or the market could find more buying and rip up to the north side. A little bit of it depends on stocks like Apple and Microsoft. If you see what Apple did off the open today, that looked a little bit worrisome for the market, but the market still finds some buying at the end of the day into stocks like Microsoft, into stocks like Nvidia. Nvidia did sell off though, but never mind. But the other stocks did end up finding buying today and held the market into the green side. But Apple, the way it was selling off the open, I was pretty worried for the market today. So that's a little bit of a question mark. I think we could see the market basically do a little bit of a correction. Making all-time highs every single day is kind of crazy in my opinion. Today's move was very muted too. Look at the opening volume today compared to the last few days on the QQQ. The volume was much lower today on the open compared to the last few days. So the market doesn't really know what it wants to do itself, I guess. And you can also see that a lot of people might be waiting patiently for economic data to come out before actually making a decision. Looks like Papa Powell is going on the microphone. No, that's Sunday, never mind. Friday is also looking pretty boring on the... Oh, tomorrow is Friday. God damn it, I'm an idiot. Yeah, pretty boring on the economic calendar, sadly. And the earnings calendar for tomorrow is pretty boring too. So there is a good chance that we could get a free fall Friday. There's a good chance that we could get a nothing burger Friday. There's a good chance that we could get a nice little pop. I mean, I basically said the market could move this way, that way, or do nothing, which is, wow, Prad, what a profound thought. Wow, you're such a genius. You know what? Market's gonna move or not move, doesn't matter. You will find positions to move. And your job as a day trader is to hunt for those positions. some of the stocks that we talked about today, some of the stocks on my watch list, Affirm, Pinterest, Net, will 100% be moving. And it's your job to look for those trading opportunities. So I wish you guys some good luck and some patience and discipline to be in those trades and stick with those winners and kind of cut your losers early. Tomorrow we also have a IPO coming out, something that we said we're going to do a little bit of research about, BBB Foods Inc. So let's go see what these guys own. We did do a little bit of research yesterday as to how they own a lot of companies in Mexico or something. So we're going to go use our help from we're gonna go use some help from our good friends over here at ChatGPT, get them to summarize what this company does in a nice little bullet form for us, so we don't have to sit there reading tons of information. Tiendas 3B. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Tiendas. I guess that means 3 B's. Guessing that means 3 B's. Tiendas 3B isn't there a company called Triple B, like a BBB company, the Better Business Bureau or something? Yeah, pretty weird. Is a leading grocery hard discount retailer in Mexico, pioneering in Buenito Ibarita, good, nice, and affordable model. The company experienced significant growth with the CAGR of, I don't know what a CAGR is, but okay, cost goods ratio, something goods ratio maybe, of a 34% in total revenue from 2020 to 2022, reaching pesos of 32.6 billion in 2022, and an increase in stores from 1,249 to 2,288 by the end of 2023. So that's actually a good number over there. Clearly increasing the number of stores is always a good thing for businesses. The business model focuses on providing great value to budget savvy consumers through limited assortment of products priced at lowest sustainable market rates. Not bad. Clearly helping lower income families, so most likely their margins might be a little bit lower, but they also might have a lot more customers because of their lower prices. So possibly the Walmart of Mexico, I'm guessing. Okay. Serves low to middle. I just said that. So serves low to middle income households, targeting daily grocery needs with convenience store locations in central neighborhoods. The product range includes approximately 800 skid units, comprising branded, private label, and spot product. What is spot products? I'm guessing spot products means like a President's Choice or Kirkland for Costco. I'm guessing that's what spot products means. Branded products account for a significant portion of sales, 48 to 51%. Private label products contribute to 48 to 45%. Those numbers don't add up. That's 50% right there. Okay, then yeah, it makes sense. 5.4 to 5.8% sales comes from their spot product, which is, I'm guessing, the maybe internal countries or their own products, Kirkland type of products, I'm guessing. Company's efficient business model, characterized by a decentralized organization, limited product assortment, and a focus on daily grocery needs, results in lower gross margins. I called that out. Then leading grocery retailers, man, I'm a genius. Then leading grocery retailers in Mexico. The decentralized structure with regional directors and distributor centers enables scalability, efficient operations, and quick decision making. The company emphasizes in talent development, retention, and a strong corporate culture as a crucial component for sustaining rapid growth and achieving efficiencies. Entry barriers for new participants in the hard discount segment in Mexico include the time and capital required for scale and profitability, knowledge in real estate and personal management, investment in personal label development, and access to experienced management teams. I think they're just stroking their own ego here, saying that, you know, it's pretty hard to do what we're doing. That's why we're the best at it, and that's why we've been growing from that many stores to that many stores in such a small amount of time. So they're just stroking their own P&P over there. Shout out to them though. The company was incorporated in the British Virgin Islands with the executive offices in Mexico, registered offices in British Virgin Islands, basically tax purposes. We know how a lot of companies, Google and a bunch of other companies, basically do that. So shout out to them. The company does look pretty damn bullish to me, right? It does look good. So Triple B TBBB. to win those 3Bs. I'm probably screwing up the name over there, but TBBB on the IPO side tomorrow. Make sure you're keeping a watch out for that. And ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all she wrote for today. If you have anything that you want me to talk about, let me know. But that's basically all I have to talk about on today's stream, sadly. And that is the end of this week. Hopefully your week was profitable, absolutely killer, banger of a week. However, the week is not over yet for you. If your week was a little red, you still got one day tomorrow to kind of turn it all around. So let's go, soldier. Let's go, playboy. Let's go, killer. Turn it all around. Bring out that baseball bat, and I want you to Babe Ruth these suckers tomorrow. Absolutely home run it, okay? Good luck on the markets. I mean, if you were here with me tomorrow or yesterday, we called out the arm type of moves. Today I'm gonna call out Net is gonna do something fun for us tomorrow. So watch out, NET. Watch out for Take Two. Take Two might be a great long in front of 150. I'm gonna call out the Take Two long in front of 150. Make sure you guys clip it and remind me on Sunday or Monday, whatever time you tune in on, to kind of see if it does bounce off of 150. Let's see if Prostradamus comes out. I'm gonna call out those two calls. Net is gonna take off. But more importantly, Take Two 150 is my important call. Let's see. Let's circle back Sunday or Monday, whatever time you guys tune in, and we'll see what happens over there. If you guys want my watch list sent out to you in the pre-market with all my notes and my some of the levels that I'm looking out for on some of the stocks that I'm watching for, you can subscribe to it on Patreon, and the watch list will be sent out to you in pre-market. Shout out to Michael Crahan, my first ever YouTube member. I finally have a YouTube member. He subscribed to my YouTube channel. You guys can also decide to do that. Let me quickly open my YouTube channel here. You guys can decide to do that too. Subscribe to me on YouTube, obviously for free, but you can decide to become a member to me on YouTube, which is basically supporting me, an extra level of support coming in if you want to do that. And Michael Crahan finally unlocking my first ever YouTube member subscription over there. I feel very, very happy on that one. Thank you, Michael, if you're watching. You're the best, and I can't wait for many more to come in, ladies and gentlemen. Many more. We're gonna keep on growing this channel. Sadly though, I'm seeing the view count right now. It's only 7 people watching. We used to have 30 people, 40 people watching. Now we only have 7 people watching. Dead stream, dead channel, dead viewer, dead trader, dead everything. No, it's okay. No, free fall. Look at Prad's shirt now. It signals nothing but nothing burger Friday. The raw rolling papers signals a nothing burger Friday. Why is that? But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for all the support that you guys show me. Thank you for hitting the like and subscribe. If you haven't already, please do hit the like and subscribe, obviously, if you think I deserve it. If not, then I will try harder next time for those likes and subscribes. Share the channel with your friends and family. I would love to grow this channel. Not sure what can I do to help grow this channel, but if you know any ideas, let me know. I would love to grow this channel. And last but not least, go check out all my social media links. Tomorrow we'll be in the Discord server. For the last few days, we were actually sitting in the Discord server trading with a couple other people. Raz, if Raz is in the chat. If not, you guys will see him in the Discord. Quite an active user on our Discord. Raz, myself, and Dieter usually sit in the Discord call and trade together. So you can come join me and you know, look at the stocks that I'm interested in, look at the trades that I'm interested in live on Discord for absolutely free. All you have to do is go click on the link in the description for my social media. Also, go check out all my other social media where I'm very active on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that fun stuff. Also, go check out my 3 affiliate sponsors who help the stream stay alive: TraderSync, Trade Ideas, and Benzinga. If you want to keep track of your trades and understand exactly where you're making money and where you're not making money, TraderSync is your best friend, right? Gotta go check out TraderSync. Tools like TraderSync will help find out where to size up and where to size down, and how to do it too. You need companies like Trade Ideas scanners. There's other scanners out there too, but Trade Ideas is what I use to help me find my favorite new setup that I've been doing. Dieter has been watching that setup quite a bit. Today we caught some banger trades off of that setup too. So if you were on the chat, in the Discord chat, you would have been able to see those trades play out. And last but not least, Benzinga, we would not have been able to do all that earnings report dissemination that we do with ChatGPT without the help of Benzinga. Benzinga gives us the reports over there, so make sure you go check out Benzinga with the links below. All those softwares do have their links down below. All the softwares do have their codes that give you the discount, so go check out their discount codes along with them. That Mike Storm, what the fuck is Crahan? That's Mike Storm? I don't know. I'm talking about a different person. I'm talking about a different Michael. Michael Storm is a different person, and Michael Crahan is a different person. You got it confused a little bit. You're confusing me almost over there. I'm new to Trade Ideas, but overall, it's a great scanner. Not a great learning experience, though. I mean, yeah, it's not user-friendly. You'll need to play with the software quite a bit. If you ever need help, you can always shout out Michael Noss on Twitter. He will help you with any way he can. You know, he's a great person. He works with Trade Ideas. Amazing scans. There's a lot of scans built for free on Trade Ideas too, that you can play with. You can also go to Reddit, and I'm pretty sure you can find a lot of scans on Reddit. Or if you have a specific scan that you want built, just post it on Reddit and they will build it for you. A lot of fun stuff over there with Trade Ideas. So do go use all that to your help if you're struggling with creating a scan for yourself according to your needs. And if you need some help, post it in our Discord. There's tons of people in our Discord who probably use Trade Ideas. They will help you out. Most likely I will help you out. So post it in our Discord. But yeah, that's basically all she wrote, guys. Have a great weekend. And see you guys Sunday. Make sure you tune into the Sunday stream. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And wait, is NFL Sunday? No! Super Bowl's at 6:30. I'm debating if we take Super Bowl Sunday off. Or maybe we stream earlier for Super Bowl Sunday so we can watch Super Bowl. You know what? We'll decide. We have 2 days to decide, and I'll let you guys know before that. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Just because the Super Bowl is at 6:30, maybe we'll do the stream at like 5:30 or 5 o'clock on Sunday, and then we'll go back to 6 o'clock on next Sunday after that. So clearly, big Super Bowl coming up. Enjoy your Super Bowl weekend. Good luck to whatever team you're cheering, Kansas City or San Francisco, and I will see you guys on Sunday or Monday. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, good night, ciao, adios, goodbye, peace. What other languages do I know? Konnichiwa, no, that's hello. Okay, anyways, goodbye. Bye.